Namaskar students, welcome back to another lecture in electrodynamics. So in last class I have derived an expression for the energy in magnetic field, and we have obtained a formula that was equal to 1 upon 2 mu 0 integral for all space b square d tau. And uh, and before that I have explained that what is the inductance, and then inductance in the circuit, and then mutual inductance between two current carrying circuits or two current carrying loop, and then I have explained the self inductance. And before that we have learned the Faraday's law, and then electromotive forces, motional EMF in this series of lectures. So now we are in the position that I can give and some introductory part of the Maxwell equation. So this is a I'm bringing you now in a new new part that is known as the Maxwell's equations. So what we have learned till now, that I will summarize, means whatever we have learned in the electrostatic, in magnetostatics. So all whatever we have, all those things can be written in a four coupled equation. So these four coupled equations are basically known as the Maxwell equation, and these four equations basically satisfies, explains all electrostatic and magnetostatic phenomena. So when Maxwell was not involved in the electricity and magnetism, and before Maxwell, what we have learned, that I will in this lecture I will introduce, and then what is the contribution of Maxwell, and because of his contribution, why these four coupled equations, they are called as Maxwell equations. So because his contribution was very significant, because of his significant contributions, so these all coupled equations are known as the Maxwell equations. So let us start. So in electrostatic and in magnetostatics. So in case of electrostatic, if we go back, what we have learned basic equation that was known as the Gauss's law of electrostatic. So that was divergence of E, del dot E was equal to, that is rho upon epsilon 0. So this is what known as the Gauss's law. Then we have come forward in case of magnetostatics. Then we have and in case of electrostatic also, we have also learned one thing that was there. So that was del cross E was equal to 0. Okay, that was we have learned in case of electrostatic. And then we came to the magnetostatics. So we have learned divergence of V is equal to 0. That what we have called in some books, this is called as a no name, means there is no name assigned for this law, but I have called it the Gauss's law of magnetism. So these two Gauss's law, that is divergence of E, that is equal to rho upon epsilon 0, and the divergence of B is equal to 0. So these two are known as the Gauss's law of, this is Gauss's law of electrostatic, and this is known as the Gauss's law of magnetism. The basic difference between the physics behind these two equations is that in case of electrostatic, we have learned that electric monopole can exist because divergence of E is equal to non-zero. Okay, but in case of magnetostatic, what we have learned, this divergence of B is equal to 0. That means magnetic monopole does not exist, can never be exist in case of Gauss's law, in case of magnetostatic, and this is what Gauss's law of magnetism tells us. Okay, and then in case of electrostatic, we have learned there, if you remember, so there we have learned del cross E was equal to 0, and that what we have called, that was the because of the conservative nature of electric field. And then when we are learning, when we have started learning the magnetostatic part, so we have learned that when the time varying phenomena we have learned. So in my previous lectures, electrodynamics, then we have seen that if the electric field is not a conservative, let us say, if the electric field is a non-conservative in nature, then obviously this del cross E will be not equal to 0. Then Faraday basically says that if there is a changing in magnetic field, okay, So this changing magnetic field induces an electric field, and that particular electric field which is induced by this changing magnetic field, this electric field is basically non-conservative in nature, and that is why the del cross E will be not equal to 0, and that obviously that will be equal to minus del B upon del T. And this del cross E is equal to minus del B upon del T. This is what Faraday has called, that is known as the Faraday law of induction. Okay, and that's what we have learned. Then obviously this is a del B vector, and then we have before that we have learned del cross B is equal to mu 0 j. So that what Amperes have derived an equation. So del cross curl of B is equal to non-zero, that is mu 0 j, that is the current density which is flowing in the bounded region. Okay. So this four equation, that is del this Gauss's law of electrostatic, Gauss's law of magnetism, Faraday's law, and Ampere's law. So when we write these four equations together, okay, this equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, equation 4. So these equations are basically called as a, whenever we write these four equations together, so these equations are called as a Maxwell's equation. But here I have written, so these equations are before Maxwell. Okay, when Maxwell has not contributed anything, because this is before the Maxwell, so that is why I have written electrodynamics before Maxwell. So if you write all these coupled equation, four equation together, that is known as the electrodynamics, because here dynamic part is there, that is del B upon del T, time dependent phenomena is there. So that is why this is known as the, these are known as the electrodynamics before Maxwell. Okay. Then Maxwell came into the picture, and he tries to understand these four phenomena. Okay. And one of the most important equation, that is basically known as the, if you see, that is del cross B equal to mu 0 j, that is Ampere's law. Another important equation, that is del cross E is equal to minus del B upon del T. So here if you see, there time dependent phenomena is involved, but here in this equation there is no time dependent phenomena. Okay. And if you go back to again to the magnetostatic parts, when we have calculated this curl of B, okay, and then so we have taken and assumed that this equation is basically that mu 0 j, that is was for the steady state current, because the whatever magnetism we have defined magnetostatic part, that magnetostatic part was because of the stationary current flowing into the wire or flowing into the material or matter. So that was because of the stationary current. That is the one of the basic finding of the magnetostatic part. Okay. Then Maxwell has now, because this is basically known as the divergence of E, that is rho upon epsilon 0. This is divergence of B, that is equal to 0. So we have learned one basic law in vector calculus, that is divergence of curl of a vector, that must be always 0. That's what we have learned. Okay. So Maxwell's now he tried to understand whether this divergence of curl of a vector must be 0, whether these all equations, these four equations, whether these all four equations are satisfying this basic law or not. Okay. This divergence of a curl of a vector must be 0. So this is basic law, because all these quantities are vector. Here B is vector, E electric field is vector, and all these quantities we have, what we have written, that is in divergence, and curl. So Maxwell tried to understand whether these all four equations are satisfying this divergence of curl of a vector is equal to 0 or not. Okay, the divergence of a curl of a vector should be equal to 0. That what Maxwell understand, and that what he wanted to explore more. So if you look to the first equation, that is Gauss's law of electrostatic, that is divergence of E is equal to 0. Okay. So we know that if we write this divergence, and the basic law is divergence of curl of equal to 0. That means if you write this electric field in terms of curl, obviously we know that curl for a conservative electric field, this curl of E is equal to 0. It means that this equation satisfies this basic law, that divergence of E is equal to divergence of curl of some vector, that is equal to 0. Because this is originated with the electrostatic part, so we know that for a conservative electric field, this del cross E is equal to 0. So he found that this divergence of E is equal to rho upon epsilon 0. This equation satisfies this basic law. Okay. Similarly, if you come to here, that is divergence of B is equal to 0. then we have already defined this B quantity because of this property that the divergence of curl of a vector is equal to 0. So we know we have written this B is equal to del cross A, where A is the, we have defined that is vector potential, where A we have defined that is vector potential. Okay, so that means if we write del dot curl of A, that is obviously equal to 0. So this is also equal to 0. This means both equation, this divergence of E is equal to rho upon epsilon 0 and divergence of B is equal to 0, both these equations satisfies the this old rule, that is the vector rule. Okay, divergence of curl of a vector must be equal to 0. And now he came to the this, now there are two remaining equations, that is del cross E is equal to minus del B upon del T and del cross B is equal to mu 0 J. Now if you come to the, let us say this equation, that is Faraday's law, what we call del cross E is equal to minus del B upon del T. So this is basically curl of E. If we take the divergence on both sides, okay, in this equation, that is del curl of E is equal to minus del B upon del T. If we take divergence on both sides, so both sides must be equal to 0, then it will satisfy this rule. Okay, so that what we are going to do now. So if you take this divergence of these things, the curl of E, so this divergence into curl of E is equal to, I have taken minus divergence del B upon del T. Okay, so we can write divergence del dot del cross E is equal to minus, so we can write this del upon del T, divergence of B. And previously we have seen that this divergence of B is always equal to 0, that is Gauss's law of magnetism. Divergence of B is always equal to 0, that is Gauss's law of magnetism. So this means from this vector identity, divergence of curl of a vector, that is always equal to 0. So this left hand side become equal to 0, and because of this divergence of B is equal to 0, so this is also become equal to 0. So that means this Faraday law of induction, this equation del cross E is equal to minus del B upon del T, this equation is also correct. This is also consistent with the old rule. So out of these four equations, this equation and this equation and this equation, out of these four equations, all three equations satisfies the old rule. Okay, now we are remaining with the one equation, that is what, that is we have called Ampere's law of magnetism. So if we check the Ampere's law of magnetism, that is del cross B is equal to mu 0 J. So if we take divergence of curl of B, both sides, divergence, if we take both sides, del operator, so here left side we got divergence of del cross B is equal to mu 0 divergence of J. Okay, so we know that the divergence of a curl of a vector is always equal to 0. This left hand side, that becomes equal to 0. But if you see here at this side, mu 0 divergence of J. So what is divergence of J? If you go back to the, again recall equation of continuity. So we know that equation of continuity for steady state current, if you remember. So for steady state current, we know this equation of continuity, that is divergence of J is equal to del rho upon del T, that is equal to 0. So this is what we have derived. I have given a separate lecture on the equation of continuity. So we know that for steady state current, this divergence of J is equal to del rho upon del T, that is equal to 0. If this quantity become equal to 0, that means divergence of J must be equal to minus del rho upon del T. And that what we have called, this is basically known as the conservation of charges. Okay, that means that is conservation of charges. As many number of this divergence of J, that means current flowing outward from a closed volume, that is always equal to the rate of change of charge density within the volume. Obviously that means the rate at which charge density within the volume, that is decreasing, this negative signs that shows the decrease of charges. Okay, the rate at which the charge density is decreasing within the volume, and that will be equal to the net current flowing from that given bounded volume. So that is what, that is basically telling the conservation of charges, and that is what I have explained, that is the equation of continuity. And remember, this equation of continuity is only valid for the steady current. Remember, this point must be focused. So this is only valid for the steady current. Okay, that is only for steady current. Steady current means there should be no charge pile up at any point during the flow of charges. Means as many charges are reaching some points, that many charges will leave. Means number of entering the charges and number of leaving the charges, that should be equal, and that is known as the steady state. So that will give the, there will be no change in the current. So that is why that is what we have called that is stationary current or steady current. Because of this steady current or stationary current, and we got the magnetic property in the meters. Okay. So if you go back to what we have written, now it means in place of divergence of J we can write minus del rho upon del T, and this is equal to 0. Okay, means both, it means divergence of J is separately equal to 0 and minus del rho upon del T, that is also separately equal to 0. That means divergence of curl of V left hand side from previous equation, that what I was explaining here. This can be written as, in place of divergence of J, can be written as a del rho upon del T. Okay, that is mu 0, divergence of J can be written as a minus del rho upon del T, and this minus del rho upon del T we know that is equal to 0. So and if you see the divergence of curl of V, that is old rule, that is always equal to 0. So this is 0, and then minus mu 0, okay, minus mu 0, that is del rho upon del T, and this is also equal to 0. So that is equal to 0. That means this both equations and this equation is also consistent. Okay, that means Ampere's law of magnetism, that is also consistent for the steady state current. So that means, and this things Maxwell started checking when he involved in learning the electrodynamics. So he started verifying these all four equations. So he verifies first equation, second equation, third equation, and fourth equation. So all equation he find that these equations are still, they are very satisfying the conditions, old rule. Okay, but he got another problem. Maxwell observed a problem. What we have this Ampere's law we have derived, that we have derived for the steady state current. Okay, that whatever we have learned, this Ampere's law, that was for the steady current. That means the current which is not changing with time, the current which is not changing with the time. That is why this del rho upon del T, that is equal to 0. That means current is not changing with time, that is stationary current, that is steady current. Here this charge is changing. Remember, this is, I am changing, charge is changing. Means there is no, when current is flowing across a surface, across a boundary, or along a wire, there is no charge pile up anywhere. Means as many charges are coming some points, that many charge will leave. There will be no charge pile up, that is steady current will flow. But Maxwell observed that, and he was intelligent enough to find out the mistakes what earlier researchers or earlier scientists were doing. Then he realizes that if we, let us say, go beyond the magnetostatics. So this is what, when we have considered the steady current, and because of the steady current, the magnetic field we have calculated, and we have called that is the magnetostatic part. Okay, that is why the part came magnetostatic. Static means electrostatic, because the electrostatic originated because of the stationary charges. Okay, a charge is, source charges are stationary, and then we have calculated electric field, electric potential, and everything. Okay, that is why what we have called that is electrostatic. In case of magnetostatic, again I have given a separate lecture why we call this magnetostatic. So in case of magnetostatic, the current which is the magnetism is originated because of the current, because of motion of the charge, but the motion of the charge gives the current, and that current should be static. That current should be steady current, and that is why this part of magnetism is called as a magnetostatics. But Maxwell realized that if we don't have a steady current, let us say if we don't have a steady current, or if we go beyond the magnetostatic, okay, if we go beyond the magnetostatics, if you are not working in magnetostatic, then what will happen to the Ampere's law? Then he tries to understand this Ampere's law. Okay, So if you go beyond the magnetostatic and if you consider the non-steady current, then whatever the Ampere's law we have learned, that is del cross B is equal to mu 0 j, del cross B is equal to mu 0 j, this equation is not correct. Okay, what Maxwell says. So then this equation will be not correct for the non-steady current or when we move beyond the magnetostatics. That is why what we are now calling that is electrodynamics. So this is giving the real picture of electrodynamics, what I wanted to convey the message to you. Okay, so let us consider for the non-steady current. So that we know that divergence of J is equal to minus del rho upon del T, and obviously this is non-steady, that means this will be equal to non-zero. That means this divergence of J will be not equal to 0 and minus del rho upon del T will be equal to not 0. Okay, I hope you got what I wanted to say. Okay, now if you again verify the Ampere's law, okay, that del cross B is equal to mu 0 j. So before that we, because here if you see that divergence of J, that is equal to minus del rho upon del T, and we have to substitute the value of rho. Before doing that, we can again go to the first equation, that is a Gauss's law of electrostatics. So that is this one, divergence of E is equal to rho upon epsilon 0. Okay, so if you go that, so we can find out the value of rho. So we know that divergence of E is equal to rho upon epsilon 0. So we can find out the value of rho. So rho will be equal to, that is epsilon 0 into divergence of E. So this we can find out the rho, that will be equal to epsilon 0 divergence of E. And here if you substitute in case for the case of non-steady current, then this divergence of J will be equal to minus del rho upon del T, and this is non-zero. Then in place of rho we can substitute this epsilon 0 divergence of E. So this divergence of J will be equal to minus del upon del T epsilon 0 divergence of E. Okay, and then if you further write, so we can write divergence of J is equal to minus epsilon 0 divergence of, so I have taken this divergence outside because this is del upon del T, that is scalar, so it will not change the vector things. So minus epsilon 0 divergence of del upon del T E, del E upon del T. Okay, that what we have got. Now so we have divergence of J, again if you see here, so what I have, again I have written this epsilon 0 taken inside because these are the scalar. So divergence of J, this can be written as a minus divergence of, in bracket, epsilon 0 del E vector upon del T. Okay, del E vector upon del T, and this is Maxwell is doing. Okay, and now Maxwell, since that he find that this is basically divergence of J, that is the net outward flow of current from a given volume. Net, this divergence means telling that is basically the net flux flowing outward. The net flux of what? That is flux of current. So net current flowing outward direction, this is current density. It means this is also equal to minus divergence of some quantity, that is epsilon 0 del E upon del T. So this means this quantity, that is in bracket, this quantity must be, if you see this quantity, so this quantity must have a dimension of current density. Okay, so this quantity must have dimension of current density because this is current density, so this should be also, because these both are equal but in negative direction. So this, but negative sign is there, so this means this is current density, so this should be current density. So Maxwell defined a new quantity. So here let us define a new quantity, that is known as the displacement current. Okay, so I am introducing a new quantity. This is very, very important. This is known as the displacement current. So this displacement current will be equal to, that is ZD. J means current density and D will be the displacement. So ZD vector is equal to epsilon 0 del E upon del T. Okay, so we can write this divergence of J is equal to minus divergence of ZD. Okay, and then we can, because it means both are the current, this divergence of J, this J is also current density and ZD is also current density. but this current density is originated because of some other reason. This current density is because of the flow of charges within the volume, flow of charges from the in the outward direction from the volume, and this is also the current density, but this current density is because of some other reason. Okay, if you see here, this current density, the ZD we have defined, that is epsilon 0 del E upon del T, and here this is giving a time dependent phenomena. Remember, this ZD is coming, this displacement current is coming because of the change in the electric field. This is coming because of the change in the electric field in a given volume or in a given region. That means changing electric field induces a displacement current. Again here I have now we are introducing a time dependent electric field. In case of Faraday law of induction, we have introduced the time dependent magnetic field, and then that was giving the electrostatic field, del cross E is equal to minus del V upon del T. Now here in this case we are introducing a new concept, that is the time dependent electric field is giving a current, that is displacement current. Okay, now I will tell some other story in coming lectures. Let us see how interesting it is coming. It is giving a new kind of concepts. Okay, so we can write del divergence of J is equal to divergence of ZD is equal to 0. So we can take, because both are divergence, so we can take divergence outside. So divergence del dot is equal to J vector plus JD vector. Okay, that means J vector equal to JD vector is equal to 0. Now we will define a new quantity, that is we can write J divergence of JT, where JT is the total current. T means total. So JT is equal to J plus JD, and if you see now, so this is satisfying this equation, that is basically telling the divergence of total current density, that is equal to 0. That is again quite equal to the continuity equation for the steady state current. If you remember, if you see, go back here, go back to the previous page. So this divergence of ZT is equal to 0, and in previous page what we have written for the steady current, that was divergence of J is equal to 0. This is also divergence of J is equal to 0, and that there we have defined divergence of ZT is equal to 0. Divergence of JT is equal to 0. That means now what equation we have derived, this divergence of ZT is equal to 0. That means this is the quite equal to the equation of continuity, but this equation of continuity is for the non-steady current. In order to satisfy this equation, we have introduced a new quantity, that is displacement current. Okay, now we can write the Ampere's law for a beyond the magnetostatic part. It means now we can write the Ampere's law for a non-steady current. Okay, so if we write, so let us consider in place of current density J, if we write ZT, because this is satisfying the continuity equation, so del cross B will be equal to mu 0 JT, current density, total current density vector. And if you substitute the value of JT, so that del cross B is equal to mu 0 J vector plus ZD vector. Okay, and we can write this mu 0 J plus mu 0 JD, and we have defined this JD vector JD, that is equal to what? That is epsilon 0 del E upon del T. That means this is originating because of the changing electric field. Okay, so we can write, it means Ampere's law we write now, that is del cross B is equal to mu 0 J plus this mu 0 epsilon 0 del E upon del T. Okay, this gives a very beautiful equation, that is known as the Ampere's law for non-steady currents, or this is also known as the Ampere's law with Maxwell modifications. So this is known as the Maxwell's modification in the Ampere's law, and this is what Maxwell has contributed in the Ampere's law, in the electrostatic, in the EM theory. Okay, this is what Maxwell has contributed in electromagnetic theory or in electrodynamics. So he has given this concept of displacement current, and this displacement current was originating because of the changing electric field. Okay, so this is giving the del cross B is equal to mu 0 J plus mu 0 epsilon 0 del E upon del T. So this equation is known as the Ampere's law for non-steady current, or Ampere's law, simply you can call Ampere's law also, because if steady state current is there, so obviously this del cross E for steady state del E upon del T, that will be equal to 0 because ZD will be equal to 0. So this del cross B is equal to mu 0 J. So that is old Ampere's law. But if you involve the non-steady, then this term has to be included. Okay, so this equation is known as the Ampere's law with Maxwell modification. And this equation gives lot of physics. Okay, and now I am going to introduce a new concept again. If you again recall to the Faraday law, okay, if you go back to the Faraday law, so first equation what I have written here, so that is del cross E is equal to minus del V upon del T. So in this case, Faraday law of induction, what we have called this changing magnetic field. Here this magnetic field is changing with respect to time. So this changing magnetic field basically giving rise induces a electric field. Changing magnetic field induces an electric field, or we have said that changing magnetic field induces an EMF. Changing flux in a given closed area, that is induces a flux, and that flux change in flux induces an EMF, and that EMF is basically known as the curl of E, that is electric field. Remember, this electric field is non-conservative nature, because this electric field is originated because of some different reason, because of the change in the magnetic field. That is why this is non-conservative nature. Now if we come back to the what Maxwell modified, okay, so we are here somewhere. So sorry, back one more back. Okay, so we are here, that is del cross B is equal to mu 0 J mu 0 epsilon 0 del E upon del T. Here if you see clearly, so this is basically is not changing with time, and this second quantity at right hand side, if you see, that is del E upon del T. This is changing with time, and this is equal to the what? Del cross B. Then Maxwell said that this not only the changing magnetic field induces an electric field, also, but that was the Faraday law, but changing electric field can also induce a magnetic field. Remember, this is very, very, very important. It means changing electric field can induce also a magnetic field. That is what Maxwell has contributed, and this is okay. So now if you check now Maxwell equation, that is fourth Ampere's law with old rule, that is divergence of curl of a vector, that should be both sides should be equal to 0. So del cross B, divergence of del cross B is equal to del divergence of mu 0 J plus mu 0 epsilon 0 divergence of del E upon del T. So we know that this is mu 0, we can write divergence of J plus mu 0 del upon del T divergence of V. Okay, and we know from the Gauss law that divergence of E is equal to rho upon epsilon 0. So this divergence of curl of B is equal to mu 0 divergence of J plus mu 0 epsilon 0 del upon del T rho upon epsilon 0, because in place of divergence of E we can write rho upon epsilon 0. So this will be rho upon epsilon 0. So this epsilon 0 and epsilon 0 will be cancelled out. So what we will get here? Here mu 0 divergence of J plus mu 0 del rho upon del T. If you see here del rho upon del T, again from the equation of continuity we know, so this del rho upon del T, that is equal to divergence of J. Okay, so that divergence of J is equal to minus del rho upon del T. If we substitute this value, what we will get? Divergence of curl of B, that is obviously equal to 0, is equal to minus from the continuity equation we can write this divergence of J is equal to minus del rho upon del T. If you substitute this value of divergence of J, so that will be equal to minus mu 0 del rho upon del T, and this is plus mu 0 del rho upon del T. Okay, so this will be cancelled out. If this will be cancelled out, so this means this equal to 0. So that means this equation is consistent. So when after Maxwell equation, now the Ampere's law is also consistent. So that is what Maxwell has did when he started learning the electrostatic and magnetostatic. After learning the electrostatic and magnetostatics, he wrote all these four equations. Divergence of E, that is equal to rho upon epsilon 0, curl of E, that is minus del V upon del T, divergence of B is equal to 0, and curl of B is equal to mu 0 J plus mu 0 epsilon 0. After his modification, without modification if you see, then he found there is a discrepancy in Ampere's law, and he fixed and he sorted out that discrepancy with giving the concept of displacement current, and then he given a law that changing electric field also induces a magnetic field. Then that is what the contribution of Maxwell. Then Maxwell again wrote all these four equations. So remember whenever we talk about the Maxwell equations, that means we have to write all four equations together. Then only we will call that is they are the Maxwell equation. Okay. If you are writing only two equations, so that they will be not called as a Maxwell equation. If you are writing three equations, they will be not called as a Maxwell equation. But when you are writing all these four equations together, then only we will call the Maxwell equations. So now after Maxwell modification, if we write the electrodynamics, now here I am not calling, remember, here I am not calling the electrostatics or magnetostatics. What we are calling? We are calling electrodynamics. Why? Because if you see, here the magnetic field is changing and giving the electric field. Here electric field is changing and giving the magnetic field. That is why I am not calling the magnetostatics or electrostatics. I am calling the electrodynamics, where time dependent phenomena has been involved. Then the concept of electrodynamics came. Okay. So Maxwell then again written these four equations. So this is basically known as the electrodynamics after Maxwell. So this is divergence of E is equal to rho upon epsilon 0, Gauss's law of electrostatic, divergence of B is equal to 0, Gauss's law of magnetostatics, curl of E is equal to minus del B upon del T, that is Faraday's law, and this curl of B is equal to mu 0 J plus mu 0 epsilon 0 del E upon del T, that is Ampere's law after Maxwell modification. So now at this situation, we are ready to learn a new thing, that is they are known as the Maxwell's equation. Okay. So now I will start Maxwell equation. So as I said in my previous page, that if we write these four equations after Maxwell modifications, after Maxwell contribution, if you write together, so these equations are known as the Maxwell equations. And then we can call, this is known as the electromagnetic theory. And earlier, remember, whatever we have learned earlier, before this electrodynamics, I have called separately electrostatic, I have called separately magnetostatics. There, I have never called that they are the electromagnetic theory. I have never called the electrodynamics. But when this time dependent magnetic field and time dependent electrostatic field has been involved, and if we write these four equations together, then we will call electrodynamics or electromagnetic theory. Okay, that is the electrodynamics. So these are known as the Maxwell equations. So this is in differential form. So this is known as the differential form of Maxwell equations. And we can write Maxwell equation in integral form also. So if you write the integral form, obviously in order to write in integral form, that you can do. So let us, I'm not writing, I'm not giving, writing this integral form. I'm not doing the derivation of Maxwell equation in integral form. That you can take as an assignment. Okay. So directly I'm writing this part. So in integral form, if you write, that is surface integral E dot dA, that is equal to Q upon epsilon 0, surface integral B dot dA, that is equal to 0, and this line integral of closed path E dot dl, that is equal to minus del upon del t surface integral B dot dA, and then line integral of closed path B dot dl is equal to mu 0 if plus mu 0 epsilon 0 surface integral del E upon del t dA. And these four coupled equations are again known as the Maxwell equation in integral form. So they were Maxwell equation in differential form. So these all four equations. Remember, as I said, when you write all these four equations correctly together, then only they will be called as a Maxwell equations. So this is in differential form and this is in integral form. Okay. Now if you move forward, so we can write this. So you have to take as a assignment this. Go to the previous page. So this integral form I'm not doing the derivation, though I have did derivation in my separate lectures. If you go back to, if you see the all lectures, you can find out the derivation. So now you have to derive this all Maxwell equations in integral form. Okay, that is a take as a assignment. So this is as a assignment. That is assignment. Okay, so I'm not doing that. So now if you write the Maxwell equation in matter, let us say some medium is there, as we have learned, electrostatic in medium, electrostatic field in dielectric, that is in a medium, and then magnetic field in a medium, that is in matter. So if we write the Maxwell equation in matter, so this will be divergence of D, that is displacement vector. Remember, here I am not writing E, I am not writing capital E vector, I am writing capital D vector. Divergence of capital D vector equal to rho f, that is free charge volume density. And then divergence of B is equal to 0, curl of E is equal to minus del B vector upon del T, and the curl of H, that is equal to JF plus del capital D vector upon del T. So these four equations, coupled four equations, are known as the Maxwell equation in matter in differential form. Similarly, we can write in integral form. So just as I have did earlier, so you have to do. So if you write in the integral form, that is surface integral D dot dA is equal to QF, surface integral B dot dA, that is equal to 0, line integral of closed path E dot dl equal to minus D upon dt, surface integral B dot dA, and line integral of closed path H, okay, dl is equal to, that is IF plus D upon dt, surface integral D vector dot dA. Okay. So this is known as the Maxwell equation in integral form. And now if you again go back to the so this is in these are the again Maxwell equation. So this Maxwell equation is basically, so this is Maxwell equation I have written in matter. So this equation is valid in matter. Okay, inside a material. That is inside a material. Now if you go back to the, let us say, Maxwell equation, I remember one thing to tell more. So this is this equation, if you see, or if you, this equation, that is Maxwell equation, that is Ampere's law in magnetostatic. And if you see clearly this integral form of the Maxwell equation, that is line integral of B dot dl is equal to mu 0 if plus mu 0 epsilon 0 surface integral del E upon del T and dA. Okay. If you, this equation is very interesting. If you see here this equation, let us say if you choose a flat surface, okay, if you choose a flat surface, in flat surface you try to write, obviously this electric field will be equal to 0, because this is surface integral part na. So this part will be equal to, because this is surface integral, this part will be equal to 0, and this part will be equal to 0, then only remaining part will be this mu 0 if, then this will remain, then your Maxwell equation will be, that is line integral B dot dl, that is equal to mu 0 if. Okay. Now if you choose a balloon shaped surface, okay, if you choose a balloon shaped surface, then we know that I enclosed will be equal to 0 in that case, then this part will become equal to 0 and this part will be remaining. So this will give only these things, that is this part and this part. So that means this equations contain the all information of the this Ampere. After modification of Maxwell, this equation contains all the informations. So these are the, I have listed Maxwell equations in matter, Maxwell equation and Maxwell equation in matter. And similarly you can write, again I am giving an assignment, that is Maxwell equation in vacuum. Okay, so you have to write Maxwell equation in vacuum. Okay, in vacuum. So I have written Maxwell equations and then Maxwell equation in matter. Now you have to write Maxwell equation in vacuum. Okay, so I hope you like this lecture, and I hope I am able to teach you something new. Okay, so thanking you very much for listening the lecture carefully. If you have any doubt, any comment, any suggestions, please feel free to write in my YouTube channel. Thanking you very much for listening.